Hello, friends! Welcome to Coding Garden with CJ. I'm in a new place, live from New York. Welcome to Afternoon Tea with CJ. Not really in a space where I can brew tea just yet, so I'm drinking some green peach tea that I got at the Starbucks down the street. I'm in a totally different new room, a totally different state, a totally different place in the world. Let me know. And right now I don't have my correct microphone, so I might not sound the best, but let me know if you can't hear me. I can try to turn things up. If you're new to the show, this is where I browse the web and see what's new. If you go to github.com/codinggarden/morning-t, you can see all of the links and things from my previous episode, and anything I find today I'll push up there as well. If you're watching live, say hello in the chat. I see Rohit, hello, welcome. Musa, welcome. Manuel, Saison, Josh, welcome to the stream. Let me know what you're drinking. And it actually is afternoon for me. I've fast forwarded 2 hours into the future. I'm in a different time zone now. So it's 2 p.m. for me. So now that I'm in a new time zone, I do have to figure out my stream times, but yeah, this is it. We're here, ready to go. Let's get right into it. We're gonna start with r/JavaScript. All right. Cancelable async flows. This looks very interesting. Let's see what it is. CAF, pronounced cough, is a wrapper for generators, function star, that treats them like async functions, but with support for external cancellation via tokens. Super interesting, because async functions are essentially promises, and promises cannot be canceled. So what this is saying is it's a wrapper around generators, which makes them behave like async, but you actually can cancel them. And I'm in Josh's time zone, apparently. Awesome. This sounds super interesting because like one of the things people talk about with like why they maybe prefer something like streams and reactive programming over promises is that they can't be canceled and it's a one-time thing. So let's see what this is about. This utility uses ES6 features. If you need to support environments prior to ES6, transpile first. At a glance, cancelable async flows wraps a generator function so it looks and behaves like an async function. Basically, so it behaves like a promise. That's pretty cool. But then can be externally canceled using a cancellation token. So you pass a generator into CAF or cough. I'm gonna go with cough. Do some yieldy generator things inside of it. And then you can dot then it, because I mean when they say that it behaves like an async function, that means it behaves like a promise, because an async function is basically just syntactic sugar for a promise. Yeah. So today we are just browsing the web. This is typically my morning tea slot, but afternoon bought from a Starbucks tea stream is what it is right now. Super cool. So they're doing something like an AJAX request inside of a generator function, and then they're setting a timeout and basically only wait up to 5 seconds to make this request, otherwise abort it, which is something you can't do with promises. It's either fulfilled or rejected. That's very cool. I like that. Let's see the comments. There are no comments. Background and motivation. Generally speaking, an async function and generator look very similar. For that reason, most people just prefer the async function form since it's a little nicer syntax and doesn't require a library for the runner. However, there are limitations to async functions that come from having the syntax and engine make implicit assumptions that otherwise would have been handled by a generator runner. Yeah, and that, I mean, if you didn't know this about promises, it's very true. Like once you fire them off, you can't cancel them, they just happen. I don't know, this is cool. Maybe you'll do something with that at the end of the stream. That's pretty cool. Josh is asking what kind of cases would this be useful for? Really, in the first example they showed makes a lot of sense. Basically, like you're making an API request and you want to cancel it if it isn't fulfilled within a certain number of seconds or a certain amount of time. Right now, if you were to use fetch, which implements promises, maybe fetch can be canceled, I don't know. But like XML HTTP requests, if you try to attempt to do that using maybe like a promise wrapper or something like that, you can't cancel it. You can maybe not listen in the .then when it comes back, but there's no way to just say cancel what you're doing and stop. And this would be a way of just completely canceling it and ignoring it. It's super interesting. It seems like there'd also be a way to make it so that a promise could be resolved multiple times. I mean, I think that goes against the promise spec itself, but yeah. Yeah, main idea is if you don't want to wait forever for something and you want to be able to cancel, like or like let's say like a user-driven event, like the user clicks to load something and they navigate away from the page, or like they actually want to cancel it. If you're using just a regular plain old promise, you can't. It's gonna finish. But if you had like a cancel button, you could actually like fire off this cancel token, which is pretty cool. Okay, I've talked about that long enough. Seems super interesting. Let's keep moving. Here's why calling map on a constructed array doesn't work. I think I know what they're talking about. Like if you do, let's do an example file. New array 0.map. Wait, no, new array, you give it a length, 10.map. And you would think that if you were to map over this, you would get undefined, but for whatever reason, this doesn't actually run, which is what I think that article is going to talk about. So like, if I try to run this file, this console log just literally never runs. Whereas if I had done it, it will, and then if I fill it with values, like fill it with zeros, then it actually does run. So this article is going to tell us why doing this does not work. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Scenario. For the sake of demonstration, suppose you need to generate an array from numbers 0 to 99. How might you do this? Here's one option. Yes, a for loop. Cool. Actually, I'll show it if the article doesn't talk about it, but one time when I was doing a Codekata stream, Amal in the chat showed me a really cool trick for doing something like this, well, just like iterating up to a given number without having to use a for loop. I'll show that if they don't show it. What the heck? Explanation. There's an important technical distinction I need to make here in order to explain why this happened. Internally, JavaScript arrays are objects with numbers as keys. For example, ABC has an equivalent object, is essentially equivalent to this object. And they say essentially, it's like a little white lie, but for the most part, you can think of it like that. When you access the element in index 0 in an array, you're really just accessing an object property whose key is 0. This is important because when you think of arrays as objects in conjunction with the way these higher order functions are implemented, the cause of our problem makes perfect sense. Does it though? No index keys. You get undefined when you try to access the array value at index 0. Well, it doesn't exactly explain our problem, but it does let us know that basically when you do this array of 100, it just sets the length value and doesn't actually put any properties on it, or it doesn't put any index properties on it. So that's what happens. As you know, what you need is an array whose internal object representation contains a key for each number from 0 to length. The best way to do this is to spread the array out into an empty array. Interesting. So this basically, the spread operator is going to take each value from this array, which is essentially undefined because you're creating an array of length 100 with no values inside of it, and putting it into an actual array so that they actually have indices. Cool. So they did not talk about the thing that Amal mentioned to me once, which is I'm going to show you, which I think is actually a better case than this. So like let's show this code run right here. This. Oh, not that one. Well, first, I think we saw it, but this is the issue that we're running into. So what this is trying to do is create a new array of length 100, and then it uses a map on that to get its index, and then returns that index. So basically, array should be a new array with only the with each element that has an indice of the element indice. Let's take a quick stretch. been on my phone all day, so like I have this pain in my elbow. I should not do that. Okay, but basically, and really if we just log R, there's nothing in it. Because there are no indices in the thing that got mapped. So array at 0 is undefined. And then this is the solution that they are proposing. You create an array of 100, spread it out into an array, and then map over it. And that... Quacko, where are you at? Come on. Quacko break? I think Quacko broke. Oh, I don't see an error, but it's because I'm redefining R. Let's say let. I'm curious why Quacko wouldn't just tell me that. Yeah, that's why. Okay, and then now after doing this, and really if you just log array, it's going to be an array that has all of the indices inside of it. Cool. And the way that works is the spread operator is going to take each value and put it into this array. Cool. The way that I think is better is using array.from. Because array.from will take an array-like object and turn it into an array. And basically what we can do is we can pass it an object that has a length property on it. And the other cool thing about array.from is it also accepts a function to call on every element of the array. So you actually get access to it's like the value and the index. So if we really wanted to, array, I mean, is this going to work actually? I don't know. Will this work? Yeah, we're like assigning it inside of it. No. Regardless, it's a really nice way to to iterate up. And if we did like let array equal an empty array, here, we'll reassign it. This works because array.from takes an array-like object. It'll call that and try to turn it into an array, but because it has this length property, it's basically going to call this function 100 times, each time with a different indice, and then we can do something with that. I think I prefer this because the spread almost seems like multiple iterations, because you're going to have one iteration to actually turn this thing into an array using the spread operator, and then another iteration to use the map, whereas this is just a single iteration because this function gets called as it tries to create the array. I don't know. Maybe I'll comment this. Yeah, there we go, array.from. So Mr. Jake Hamilton made that comment. If I was logged in, I would give him a thumbs up. Yeah, I like this solution more than the spread solution. It feels more of a built-in workaround. Cool. And before I forget, let's put the links in the document. Oh, this is from Getify. This is Kyle Simpson. He's the author of You Don't Know JS. Cool. Cancelable async flows. I'm curious if he's the one that submitted it on... No, he's not. Here's why mapping a constructed array in JavaScript doesn't work. All right, let's click a couple more links. Can someone please help me troubleshoot this piece of JS code on my website? Maybe, let's see. Okay, that's a big long comment. Let's see if, see if there's already an answer. person is very beginner. They had no idea that like a console log existed. Do I feel like debugging this live on stream? I don't think so. Maybe I'll come back to it. My Most Hated JavaScript Features by Craig Taub. Let's see what he's got. I do love using JavaScript. It is such a powerful, flexibly language. I think he meant powerfully flexible language, but that's okay. However, is not without its faults, and here are some of the more annoying ones I have stumbled across in my time with it. Null data type, the type of operator, automatic semicolon insertion, integer support, ES6 class binding, and pass by ref, lack of immutability. Okay, it talks about the null data type. Yeah, there are other languages that just don't have a null pointer in them. The type of operator, which tends to produce unpredictable results, like type of an array is an object, type of null is an object. Type of not a number is a number. So type of behaves pretty weirdly in JavaScript. Yeah. It's unfortunate, but I think the thing is, like, if you know what you're looking for, then you can find a way to check for it using JavaScript. That's not to say that this isn't type of behaves pretty weird in certain instances. Hello, Adam. Welcome to the stream. Do I live in Cairo? I do not. I'm actually in New York City today. I'm going to be here for the next 3 months. Before, I was living in Denver, Colorado. But yeah, I'm going to be based out of here for the next few months. Automatic semicolon insertion. So you might have seen, but I don't know if I did it here. Did I? Yes. I like to code with semicolons. I guess I did copy and paste this also. But if you watch the stream, you know that I like semicolons. It really comes from the fact that I did C# professionally for like 3.5 years. And in college, every language I learned was a C-style language, like Java, C, C++. They all require semicolons, and my pinky is just so accustomed to hitting that semicolon button. And to me, code, it almost looks like it's a period on the end of a sentence, right? To me, code just looks bare without it. And also my editor yells at me because I have a linter rule set up, but I do prefer semicolons. But the reason you're allowed to leave them off is because of this thing called automatic semicolon insertion, where when the JavaScript compiler runs your code, it automatically adds semicolons anywhere there's a new line. So you can leave them off so it adds them later. And this is one of the cases where you get a bug, because you think that you're returning an object, but because of automatic semicolon insertion, it inserts a semicolon right there on the return, and this function returns nothing. Yeah, but then they're using semicolons inside of it. But I guess the other thing is in JavaScript, I forget what it's called, but there's a tendency in most code bases you see to put the curly braces starting on the same line as the function, or starting on the same line as the for loop, or starting on the same line as an if statement, like this one here. But in a lot of C-style languages, they actually put this curly brace on the next line, which is why you might do that if you're defining an object, but I would always put it here anyways. I don't know. Namanj is asking, do I plan on doing any Angular 5 or 6 or React guides? I do. I currently have, you can see I have a Trello board where I'm talking about like upcoming topics, but there are a couple of apps right now that are all Vue.js based that I really want to finish. Like I want to finish these on stream before I start doing other things. But yeah, there have been a ton of requests for people doing React. I'm about to actually teach React at my new job, so more React to come, definitely. And maybe Angular. I just personally don't like Angular that much. It's just way too convoluted. But that doesn't mean I won't do it. It's just less likely. But definitely React is coming down the line. Cool. Yeah, and you can see like the Trello clone I'm still kind of working on, the full stack forum, which I started during the 8-hour live stream. I did some work on that on Thursday, and then there's also the full stack Reddit clone with Firestore that I started working on about a week ago. I want to get these things done because I mean you could watch the videos and like see how I do things, but I want them to be finished, put a nice little bow on them, people can use them, and then move on to other things before I do that. But a lot of good suggestions in the pipeline. And then I haven't checked it in a while, but there's this poll where you can suggest ideas for streams. I am thinking of doing a Slack or a Discord clone. That I might actually do in React. I was going to say that would be fun. I don't find React fun, but I will do it, and I know it. So you can go here and suggest a video, and then also vote on existing suggestions. So I have done Vuex. I did like a super basic intro of GraphQL, but I am going to do a more complex one coming soon. I did Firestore. I've talked about Redux before. Let's see. Build an API with Go. So this is in the Trello board too, but doing something where I do like a native mobile app built with something like React Native or NativeScript or Vue Native. That's definitely coming. And then also something that's hybrid mobile using like Ionic or Quasar maybe. Internationalization with Vue.js. I've never actually done this. It would be fun to do. I know I do have a lot of international viewers, so that'd be cool. Cool. Yeah, so check out that site if you want to add more suggestions. And really, I just take the suggestions from there and throw them on this board just so you can see what I'm thinking about. Like when I start planning a specific video, I'll throw it in here so you can see that it's coming down the pipeline. All right. What else do we hate about JavaScript? Integer support. Yeah, there are no integers in JavaScript. Everything is a floating point number. ES6 class binding. Wait, what? Oh. This has to do with execution context. So if you try to extract a function, like so they're using destructuring to pull a method definition, well, a method reference out of a class instance. When you invoke it, it's not invoked on the object instance. So technically, this is undefined. But if you were to do logger.printName, it would be defined. Yeah, or you could bind it ahead of time. That's a thing. Pass by reference and lack of immutability. Okay, so this person has some good reasons. And also, like, whether or not you hate JavaScript for these things, it's good to know about these things. Because JavaScript has some very weird parts. I don't know if it's like Stockholm syndrome, but it's just like I've been using JavaScript so long. I admit there are some weird things about it, but my mentality is just like, so what? Learn your way either around them or learn how to use it to your advantage. Like, no use complaining about it. Josh is asking, what is I18N? It stands for internationalization. So I18N, there are 18 letters between the I and the N in internationalization. Internationalization. But the idea is there are libraries out there that will help you. Instead of hard coding all of the strings or like messages, menu item names, all of those things, instead of hard coding those in your app, you extract them out so that if your app is ever translated into another language, the library is just basically doing like a dictionary lookup to pull a specific menu item name or a specific like body text or something like that. It's how a lot of websites are translated to work in other languages. Let's take a quick stretch. Yeah, internationalization and localization is adapting computer software to different languages. I'll add a link to that next show, because it's a pretty interesting thing. Like living in and building things in the U.S. often, I mean, people tend to be very like focused on the U.S., but I especially have realized like all the people watching my stream and people I've interacted with, the world is a big place where people speak more than just English. And so a lot of times, especially like if you want your app to have global reach, you might implement internationalization. Just so that when someone visits in another country, the browser can automatically detect like what is their native language and then switch the UI to use that language. Cool. Let's go to r/webdev. A new markdown editor, MarkText. Okay. Dark theme, light theme. You can search for different projects or search for different files. Give feedback via Twitter. That's pretty cool. I think there was a suggestion in the Discord earlier about building a text editor with Electron. We'd essentially be doing something like this. That'd be pretty fun. Ashfaq is asking, what is my full name? I'm not going to say. Call me CJ, that's my name. Man on the Run said, just watch the Vanilla JS MVC and it was really cool. Wonder if you're going to make more tutorials like that. Appreciate that. I think I actually want to do that live on this stream because when I did that live, it was like at a meetup and it was recorded. But it would be fun to do it on stream so people could ask more questions. I wouldn't be limited to 30 minutes, so we could try to implement more features that you see like in a front-end framework and be able to do it live. So yeah, that'd be fun. I want to come up with just different categories and titles for types of videos that I do, because the idea of like writing Lodash from scratch or like taking these libraries and frameworks that we use all the time and then just try to write them from scratch and talk about like what actually goes into them. So yeah. Cool. So it's only useful for Markdown. Why not use Visual Studio Code, Atom, or Sublime? One thing you'll notice about it though is like it's rendering the Markdown on the right-hand side. Actually, do I have? I don't know if I should open this. Give me a second. I'm gonna hide my screen. Yeah. This is okay. So I have this app called Bear. It's like a native iOS app, and you can add notes in here. Hello world. Or you can add like list items. And I'm just using Markdown syntax. So to create those list items, I literally just did star and then space, and it automatically converted it. H2 would be 2 pound symbols. What else? Like a code block. Oh, console.log. Hello world. And can I do like syntax highlighting? Yeah, cool. And then I think there's a way to like preview this. I don't know. It'd be cool to make something like this. One thing I've always wanted to do, and actually I don't know if I still have that. Yeah. This is another Markdown editor. One thing I like about this Markdown editor is instead of automatically formatting your stuff as you write it, it leaves the Markdown syntax. Like the fact that there's a pound here, or the fact that there are stars there, or we could do like a checkbox that's checked. I think that works. Yeah, and it like does a cross through. You can like uncheck it or check it. And then I think this has syntax highlighting. Yeah, so these are Markdown editors. Abricotine, I think, is open source, but like there was something about it that I didn't want to modify the existing source. It seemed like a pretty big code base. Bear is closed source. It'd be interesting to see what they did here with mark text. Why? Let's check it out on GitHub. Wow, they already have 5,000 stars. That's awesome. Mark text. Mark text is a markdown editor for Mac, Windows, and Linux. GitHub flavored markdown. Auto completion for emojis. That's cool. It does code fencing, so it actually does like syntax highlighting. That's cool. I think maybe at the end of the stream, how have I been streaming? Yeah, end of the stream, I might just try this out. It's pretty cool. Yeah, and question in the chat. I am not so. I feel like, I mean, every developer is like self-taught, but I did get a degree in computer science with a minor in math. But my first job professionally was being a desktop developer with C#, working on in Windows, in a Windows environment. But I actually taught myself web development and APIs and front-end frameworks while doing desktop development professionally. So pretty much everything I know about the web, I taught myself, but I was, what's the word? I did go to school for this. But I think that has a lot to do with like what this industry is and like what it is to be a software developer. Like you're constantly learning. Like it's just another language, another platform, another library, another framework, but they all work in similar ways. So yeah. William, hello, welcome to the stream. Hugh says Dr. Seuss. I appreciate that comment. All right, let's keep moving. Actually, don't forget to add a link. No, this. You know what? There we go. So this, I have a special app on Mac, it's called Hyperswitch, but that's what allows me to actually see these window previews, and for whatever reason that was turned off. Hypertext Markdown Editor. Is that what it's called? Hypertext? Marktext. I don't know why I thought hypertext. Marktext. Cool. Wow, this has close to 2,000 upvote points. Show off Saturday. I made an online favicon creator that uses font awesome icons and lets you preview as you edit. Let's check it out. Where's the link? It's a self-post. There you go. Ooh, okay, let's pick a good one. Like a bomb. And we'll make it black. Oh, you can stack them on top of each other? Weird. And you can download an ICO. Where should I put this? Dev, Coding Garden, Morning Tea. Today is the 17th. Let's create a new folder. Static site test. Cool. Downloaded a favicon. Let's make a little website in here. Hello world. And I have my own little style sheet thingy that I made. easy-css.now.sh. It gives us like some basic styles by default. So let's throw an H1. Can you see the favicon up above? It should be a bomb. All right, let's see if this favicon works. I mean, of course it's gonna work, it's a favicon. There it is, cool. So this is pretty sweet. So like, literally any icon from Font Awesome, you can turn it into a favicon and then like use it on your website. That's pretty cool. Stroop waffles. Those are some of my favorite breakfasts, stroop waffles. Oh, interesting. Josh is saying like for a Markdown editor, is that what you're saying? It'd be cool if you could bring in a PDF or a PowerPoint and then like take Markdown notes beside it or something like that. That would be pretty cool. Yeah, this is awesome. I tend to forget to put favicons on my website. Well, not forget, like I just don't take the time to do it. So this would be pretty sweet just because there's so many of them and I could probably find one that I need. Yeah, like search. Let's say I'm making a chat website. What about I search for message, bubble, chat. There's no icon for it. Oh well. Cool. But yeah, this is pretty awesome. I like it. I'm bookmarking it so I can see it in the future. And for whatever reason, my command tab is not working. Or my alt tab. I think I've been taken over. Maybe not. Oh, that's why. Beta version has expired. Okay, slight detour. But that is very cool. I like it. I will use it. Let's call this font awesome icon favicon generator. It'd be cool to do this with, oh wait, not that one. I didn't link that. With other font collections, because there's like the material design icons. There's like a few other pretty popular libraries for using icons, so it'd be pretty cool if we could build something that uses those. Really cool idea, but it would be even cooler if it generated all the necessary sizes. Funny thing is, I'm using real favicongenerator.net under the hood. I wanted to make it as sleek as possible, but I guess having all their output might also be nice. I could include everything if that's useful. That's awesome. Yeah, it's very cool. I think I'll link the comments too, because there's a lot of good comments in there. Oh, other thing is I need to, well, I don't need to. I'm going to buy a new mechanical keyboard. I couldn't fit it in my luggage, so I didn't take mine with me. That's why you don't hear me typing as loudly today. What type of music do you listen to while coding? 93 comments. So pretty much every time I suggest the music that I listen to, a lot of people agree that it is good coding music. I listen to like ambient, electronic, ambient, rock, also sometimes called like intelligent dance music, but there's no lyrics and it's just very chill and it's just really good like background music. I will suggest it if there are no suggestions. Pure silence if possible. I can code in silence. I do like to listen to music, especially when I'm zoning in. K-pop. Lo-fi hip-hop radio, beats to relax and study to. I don't know about you, but I get recommended this channel all the time, and I actually started listening to it. Lo-fi hip-hop radio. There's all these different ones that stream like 24/7. Those are pretty chill too. Like they typically don't have lyrics in them, and they're just like chill beats. The Matrix soundtrack. Music for programming.net. Whoa. Music is playing. Hey chat, welcome to the stream. I'm in New York. Native music app, that'd be fun. Actually, some of the first live streams that I did where literally no one tuned in were on Twitch, and I started to build a bandcamp.com, not necessarily a scraper, but I was I was going to build an extension that would allow you to like add Bandcamp.com songs to your queue, kind of like a little Chrome extension that would manage the songs you're watching. Because the main limitation of this site, which I mean, I think it is a limitation because they probably don't want you to use the site this way, is when you view a specific album, you can only play that one album on this page. So my idea was to make like a Chrome extension where you could go to a given album, add different things to like an extension playlist, and then just listen to that. But it would also be cool to make like a desktop Bandcamp.com app, because there are a lot of really good independent artists and even like larger label artists on Bandcamp. And Tycho is actually one of the things that I love to listen to while I code. My favorite album is probably, let's look at the releases. Yeah, Dive and Awake are both really great. I really love Dive. I hope I don't get a copyright strike for this, but this is one of my favorite songs. Probably sounds horrible coming through that mic. Hey Paradise Blood, welcome to the stream. Wait, did I click away from the break timer? I think I might have. Cool, but yeah, Tycho is probably one of my favorite things to listen to. I actually saw them live on my birthday. But there are a few different artists from Ghostly International that I really like. So there's Tycho, there's also Night Moves, who is the drummer from Tycho, but it's his solo project. Very similar style music. I think it's grouped into the category of like intelligent dance music. Like no vocals, and then I also like Shigeto. I don't know if he's on Bandcamp. He is, but he's super interesting because he's a solo guy. He does like electronic music producing, but when he plays live, he has a live drum kit, and he's actually like a highly studied jazz drummer, and so he'll play like live drums on top of some of the electronic music that he makes. He's going to have a YouTube video for him. Yeah, that was like a studio performance. This is a really good one. He was in a festival in France, I think. This is all of a sudden started into music I listen to in stream. So he's awesome because he produces all of the music and then will like play drums on top of it. And again, all of this stuff like doesn't have vocals or lyrics in it. It's just very, very chill music. Yeah, there's a question in the chat from Patoski. Why did you switch from Windows to Mac? So I would say in college, when I was learning to program, I was using a Lenovo laptop that I had installed Ubuntu on. And then eventually, I think this might have been like 2009, I was on a team that was building an iOS app. So I think one of the biggest reasons for me to use a Mac is so that you can actually write iOS apps. Because it's not supported on any other platform. There are some cross-platform things you can use, but if you really want to test it and you want to build it, it has to be done on a Mac. So that was the first time I started using a Mac. But even back then, I actually try-booted it. So I had a MacBook that was running Windows, Linux, and OS X on it. And that's really when I first started using it, and I got so used to the keyboard shortcuts, the built-in apps, and I really, really like the fact that it's like this middle ground between like a commercial OS and then an actual Linux environment, because I can still use all the bash commands that I know and love, and a lot of tools that work on Linux will work on a Mac too. That's really the main reason. And like I did try for a little bit to get used to coding on a Windows machine, but I haven't found the right tools that give me the same workflow. So I have a what I'm streaming on is actually a Windows 10 machine, and it's running Windows 10. It does have Ubuntu subsystem, and you can actually open a terminal into your like Ubuntu subsystem, which is crazy, but you can do that. And then I also have Commander installed, which is a like a terminal environment, but I haven't gotten used to it as much as I've gotten used to Mac. And I really, because I've been using a Mac so long, and then anytime I do want to build something for iOS, I'm able to. It's probably the main reason I stick around. But really, the last laptop I bought was to replace a MacBook, because I wanted to try to get away from Macs. The other thing I love about them is their form factor, which is why I actually ended up buying a Razer Blade Stealth. So this is a Windows laptop, but it's like Apple quality, where it's like beautiful, thin, but it actually has like a dedicated GPU. Yeah, it's awesome. This is the Windows machine that I stream off of. And I can do development on there. I just prefer a Mac. And I've talked about this way too long. Is there any Linux you would recommend for a web dev? Yeah, so Paradise Blood suggests Fedora. I think Ubuntu is great. So especially like if you're totally new to Linux, Ubuntu is very user friendly and can be installed very easily. And then also Linux Mint, which I think, is that based off of Ubuntu? No, so they're both based off of Debian. So either Linux Mint, Ubuntu, and there's some other suggestions in the chat. So there's also Fedora. Pretty much all of these Linux distributions now come with an installer that can pretty much detect most of the common drivers out there in the world, like on a laptop. I mean, a lot of, like if you're installing it on a new laptop, you might check to make sure that there's a guide for that and that all the drivers exist. Because I did have some issues because I attempted to put Ubuntu on this thing. It's on there, but there are a couple of drivers that aren't fully supported. Josh is recommending Crunchbang. I don't think I've used that. Is that it? No. It is Bunsen. Wait. Yeah. Also derived from Debian. Stop development in 2015. Was that a joke, Josh? Do you actually use this? Users would benefit from using vanilla Debian. No. Oh, and there was a message from Briggs. Did I try to make a Udemy course? I haven't yet. And now that I have another full-time job for the next 3 months, I might not anytime soon. But after that, I should. Like, I'm losing money by not making a Udemy course. I'll say that like live streams will continue to be open and free for everyone, but selling a video course is probably the best way for me to actually make a living doing this stuff. Oh, so there's a Crunchbang ++. Oh yeah, and Paradise Blood is recommending Arch Linux. If you're totally new to Linux, Arch Linux is not for you, but it is cool. And I believe their package manager is called Pacman, so that's another reason to use Arch. Archbang. Linux Live ISO, based on Arch Linux. Archbang Linux. Cool. I feel like I've gotten extremely sidetracked, but this is fun. We talked about music. Actually, here's what I'll do. I'm gonna make a music channel in the Discord, and I'll throw the things that I listen to on in the Discord if you guys want to check it out. And if you want to join the Discord, it is coding.garden/Discord. This will redirect to a short survey where you can just tell me a little bit about yourself, and at the end of it, there's a link to Discord where you can join. Cool. Yeah, does anybody mention Tycho? Nobody mentions Tycho. Night moves? I'm going to add a comment here. Whoa. Let's add a comment. Tycho, night moves, Shigeto are all my go-to. Chill, electronic. I don't know if you'd even call it rock. The thing is, like, Tycho, let's say electronic, like IDM music. Because Tycho is actually like a full band with a drummer and guitarist and bass player, but the music they make sounds very like electronic. Let me link to Bandcamp too. Get that sweet karma. Here, yeah, I'll post the link, because you're not actually allowed to post links in the YouTube chat. I've tried to enable it. Like, I trust you all. There's only like a spam bot every now and then, but there you go. And then there's my comment. If you want to, let me share, save. How do I go to just this comment? Permalink. There we go. There's that comment where you can click those links and check them out on Bandcamp. All of them are on Google Play Music and Spotify and all the other streaming services if you listen to those too. This was weird. Musicprogramming.net. Let me open that back up. Various artists. Yeah, that's cool. I like the interface. Okay. Did I link this? No, I didn't. Let's link it. No. I got an upvote from Josh. Thanks, man. Cool. All right. I have been streaming close to an hour. I think one thing I want to do is actually try out that Markdown editor. Let's click like 2 links on r/programming, and then I'll try out that Markdown editor. Confessions of a Disc Cracker, The Secrets of 4 a.m. Let's look at this. Whoa. Is this like a really interesting? So this is an interview? Let's see. Why did you choose to start aggressively deprotecting, archiving, and redistributing Apple II software? It's tempting to rewrite history and give myself some noble purpose for starting this hobby, but in this case, the truth makes for a better story. My parents bought themselves an Apple IIe, I don't know, when I was 10, and quickly came to dominate my leisure time. Pirated software was rampant, and I idolized the crackers whose names I saw flash and scroll on the crack screens of the games I traded with my friends. So that's cool. So this is an interview with a guy that I guess used to crack software for like Apple IIs. Did you have any concerns over copyright? What copy protection schemes are the most common? Cool. Check that out. I'm not going to read through it, but articles like that are always fun. It actually, it reminds me of, I don't know if I could find it with a quick Google search, but at the very first internship I had, I browsed the web a lot. And I found this website that had basically like write-ups and stories of how the Apple Macintosh was created, and it's like stories from all the different members of the team and stuff like that. Let me see if I can find it, because there's just like tons of posts, and it's like really entertaining to read. Apple Macintosh building blog. Folklore.org, the original Macintosh. Anecdotes about the development of Apple's original Macintosh and the people who made it. 122 stories. I think this might be it. Are they in any particular order? Wow. Yeah, so this is the website. I'll put this in extra because it's a like if you just have some downtime, it's a super good read. I remember reading a story about how they actually came up with QuickTime and like just the idea of like seeing moving pictures or movies on a computer screen for the first time. Like these were the guys that did it. So cool. Check that out. I want to click this. OpenStreetMap should be a priority for the open source community. It is crazy how we are all just so dependent on, well, at least in the US, Google Maps or Apple Maps, and they're owned by just a big, large organization. So OpenStreetMaps are totally open source, community contributed maps, and this is also something you can use. Open source has won. The fact that free software now dominates practically every sector of computing, with the main exception of desktop, is proof of that. But there is something even more important than the victory of open source itself, and that is the wider success of the underlying approach it embodies. Cool. Not going to read this whole thing, but I agree. Use OpenStreetMap. OpenStreetMap is a totally different thing. But one thing I haven't done on this stream is like build an app that uses maps, so I will definitely use that. There's a pretty cool library called Leaflet, I think, or Leafly? No, not Leafly. Leafly is a weed app. Leaflet. Yeah, a JavaScript library for interactive maps. But the cool thing about them is they can, the maps layer is like plug and play, but they give you like cool little overlays and stuff like that you can use inside of the map. So you can actually use like OpenStreetMap as your image tile source. And then let's check out their docs for the different things. So they have like different layers you can put on a map and like vector layers and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. Throw that in extra. Leaflet. If you live in a country that criminalizes marijuana, do not Google Leafly, because that's a very different thing from Leaflet. So just putting that out there. All right, let's try out this Markdown editor. Just get an idea for what it's like. Download. Open the project and start writing your story. Let's grab the one for Mac. Let's throw this in my downloads. Go. It is 60 megabytes, so I mean that's the thing about Electron apps. That is pretty much going to be as small as they get, because they have a copy of Node and a copy of Chrome browser inside of them, Chromium browser. Drag and drop. Is it ready? Let's give it a few seconds. There it is. Let's start it up. Can't be opened because it is from an identified developer. For security preferences, allow installation of only app. And Tycho in the chat is mentioning they've been meaning to work with something like Leaflet for a while now. And Jeremy, hello, welcome to the stream. Now, do I want to allow this developer full access to my machine? Do I trust them? It does have 5,000 stars. Oh, it's using Vue, Electron Vue? What? Let's see. Main editor. Oh wow, I just loaded a really big file. I'm curious if they're going to actually sign it with a legit certificate. Yep, I don't know why I clicked this file. It's all the emojis. It just froze my browser. Go back, go back. Let's see if there's an issue open for it. Yeah, no offense, but I don't think I want to use this. Like, so the issue is when they built it, they did not sign it with a known certificate. So to actually run it on my Mac, I would have to click this button that says Open Anyway. But I don't think I want to. Should I click the button? Tell me in the chat. Yeah, no, exactly. So Josh is saying Chinese hackers. I didn't want to say it out loud, but the people that made this app are from China. Let's look at the contributors. Jox is the main contributor. Creator of MarkText, open source enthusiast. Let's do a quick stretch. Jeremy Lincoln is asking, do I like YouTube chat or Discord better? YouTube chat is perfectly fine for when I'm live streaming. The Discord is mainly so we can talk about stuff when I'm not streaming, and also I'll let you know when I do go live. There is that new YouTube chat feature, which I actually haven't tried out yet. Wait, it's not there. It was there for a second. But you can actually chat with people on YouTube. I haven't tried it. You can send me a message there. I'll probably get it. And chat is recommending that I run it in a VM. I think I have VirtualBox on this machine. You know what? I don't, but I'm going to install VirtualBox and then download a Ubuntu image. Why not? I got time. Nothing but time. OS X hosts. Yeah, so I'm gonna download VirtualBox. Let's find a Ubuntu VirtualBox image. I believe Ubuntu is version 18 now. They've got, whoa, that's really old. Version 15. What if somebody has made a version 18? Ubuntu, Linux, 18 VirtualBox. Version 17. It's a gig. Lubuntu, I think it's called, would be small. Yeah, let's try it. Lubuntu. No, and Tycho is asking, is there not a lightweight sandbox for Mac? There isn't, and I really wish there was, because yeah, you pretty much have to give apps full access to your machine a lot of times to even just be able to run them. Okay, what's the latest version of Lubuntu? Download. Oh, it's I guess it's based off of Ubuntu, so it is version 18.04. Let's do VirtualBox Lubuntu 18 image. Let's Google it. And start this install. It might take a little bit. Yeah, 17 is the latest one they have. This one's still 700 megabytes, 600 megabytes. Paradise Build is mentioning there's a web app called Feedly where you can redirect all RSS flux on feed you create. Yeah, I think I've used that before. Basically, you let me hide my screen real quick. I think it's going to ask for my password. Yeah, it's like a feed aggregator, and you can put different RSS feeds and stuff like that. I think you can even put like Reddit feeds in there if you want to. Cool. So VirtualBox installed. I guess just let's grab version 17 and get the 64-bit version. It's on a Google Drive. Are you kidding me? Should I trust this website? Should I just download the? Actually, I could use the live. I could mount the ISO and use the live Linux without having to actually install it. 64-bit version suitable for that. Go. Some decent download, 8 megabytes a second. This is a fun adventure in installing VirtualBox, downloading the ISO, and then we're going to, hopefully the live Linux environment will let me download something and use it. I don't know how big of a partition it gives. I don't know. Jox looks like a nice guy, but don't know if don't know if I just want to trust him outright. Oh, Crunchbang++. I didn't look that up earlier. I did look up Archbang. Ooh. I'm curious though, what, I guess I didn't even look at this. They do have for Linux. Or do they? App image, they got the DMGs, they got the EXEs. Oh my goodness. Okay. I could compile it from source. Latest Linux.yaml. Which one do I download for Linux? Oh. Not the app image or the snap? And Musa is asking, can I talk about RxJS one day? I definitely can. Let's add it to the list of potential topics. I have a little bit of experience with it, and I've watched videos on it. I saw like a really good conference talk on it. Definitely. And I know the like Angular, sometimes you might see Angular 5 or Angular 6 apps that use RxJS under the hood. Classic minimal Crunchbang. How big is it though? I think I just got Ubuntu, cool. Hopefully I can figure out how to run mark text on Linux because I didn't see one. But this will be a nice little demonstration on how to set up a virtual machine with a VirtualBox. So we're going to create a new machine. We're going to call it Lubuntu. It's going to be running Linux. Lubuntu isn't on there, but it is based off Ubuntu, so that should be fine. Lubuntu. We're going to give it 2 gigs of memory. We're going to create a virtual hard disk, VirtualBox disk image, dynamically allocated size. So it starts off small and then just grows as we add things to it. Let's give it 5 gigabytes. Create it. Ready to go. And then in the settings for this, we can mount that ISO. Choose a disk. Downloads. Ubuntu ISO. Okay. And let's start it up. English. Install Ubuntu, boot from first hard disk. I thought it had a live environment. No. I'm putting it in rescue mode. I don't know if that has a desktop environment though. Josh says they made this app so they can steal your grocery shopping list. Yeah, I mean I'm not necessarily worried about them stealing the notes that I write, but it's when I give them, like when I install it, they literally have full access to my machine, so they could have some dormant code laying there that like makes requests to a malicious server or something like that. I'm not saying they do. Just saying they might. Why is this happening? I thought Ubuntu might have like a live environment. The installer could not find any partitions, so you'll not be able to mount a root file system. This may be because the kernel. That's fine. Okay, I'm in I'm in Ubuntu, but I don't have a Windows system. Oh well. I thought Ubuntu had a live environment. Maybe I missed it. English. If I go to install Ubuntu, will it take me to an installer environment? Should have just downloaded Ubuntu. And Briggs is asking, never used Linux before, should I try one? I'd say it wouldn't hurt. You could do something like this. You could have it in a virtual machine to give it a try. If you ever do any like system administration or yeah, just like working on remote servers, it's always good to have that skill set of like knowing your way around a command line. I don't think I'm going to be getting a live environment in here. Nope. I quit. Power off the machine. Okay. Yeah, Kali Linux does have a live environment, but like Ubuntu does as well. So let me just grab the Ubuntu ISO. But one thing I'm worried about right now is like, which one of these do I download to actually run it on Linux? Is it a snap file? What's a snap file? Yeah, let me just get this Ubuntu download going. And we can get version, oh wait, I guess we did have version 18 before. Desktop AMD 64, it's 2 gigs. I mean, I have a fast internet connection though. It shouldn't take that long to download. 6 minutes, 5 minutes. Yeah, it'll be done in a few minutes. But first, let me figure out how do I actually run this on Linux. Is it app image? Oh, okay. Linux apps that run anywhere. Leading Linux distributions. Okay, so the fact that I'll be running Ubuntu means that I can run this app image on it. Yeah. Yeah, Tycho's mentioning snaps are Ubuntu's container edge package thingies, but it looks like snaps also work for these other desktop environments too. Well, Linux desktop environments like Arch and Fedora, and that's Debian, SUSE Linux, Red Hat. Don't know what that one is. CentOS. 4 minutes left. I guess I should. Well, no, I'm going to need to download the editor inside of the Linux machine. Oh, Pop! OS is made by System76. That's cool. System76 is actually based out of Denver, where I was living. System76, a Linux PC vendor, and that's the really cool thing that they do is like they sell actual laptops running Linux, and yeah, it's awesome. I remember sending them a self-addressed stamped envelope a while back to System76. I don't know if they still do this, but they then mailed me back these little like powered by Ubuntu stickers that I could put on my computer. A Linux distribution built for creators. It's pretty cool. Is it based on Ubuntu or anything like that? Pop! OS. Looks pretty sweet. Do you use Pop! OS, Jeremy? Looks nice. I mean, they have like a really great UI. Okay, how are we doing? Minute left. Let's take a quick stretch. Oh, you use it on the side? Cool. So it is? Oh, took Ubuntu to the next level. So it is based off Ubuntu? The tweaks that everyone would install are there and they already work. That's pretty cool. Window snapping, how's that work? Show me. Cool. Like typically that isn't enabled by default. So that's pretty cool. Keyboard navigation. Oh, switch your desktop environments. You can turn on Do Not Disturb mode. I might try this out. Looks pretty sweet. Yeah. Let me add a link. Actually, I'll put this all in extra. I'll add a link to VirtualBox, a link to Ubuntu, and then also a link to is it Snap? No, Pop. Snap, Crackle, Pop. Oh, also this thing. App image. Ubuntu. And VirtualBox. This site. Yeah, so if you do want to try out Linux, this is probably the easiest way to do it. VirtualBox has an installer for Windows and Mac, and then you just find the ISO of the operating system you want to try. And then in VirtualBox, you set up a little machine. Let's get rid of this ISO and let's add the Ubuntu ISO. Wait, what? Oh, there we go. Choose a disk. We'll do, yeah, Ubuntu 18.04. And I believe the reason I downloaded Ubuntu is because they also have a live environment, so you can actually try it out without installing it. I mean, that said, I am just using a virtual machine, so it'd be okay if I installed it. But it's actually possible to like put this on a USB drive and like just boot your computer up to it and try it out. Mm. Yeah, and Manuel is saying these features are GNOME standards. I guess that might be the case. Didn't Ubuntu move away from GNOME at some point, or maybe they went back? Oh yeah, and Paradise Blood is mentioning enable virtualization in your BIOS. Like that's if you're going to like put it on a USB drive and boot it up. Let's try Ubuntu. I'm curious. Can I? Oh God, did it just crash? No. Cool. I think resizing doesn't. Oh, it does. Nice. Full screen that. Cool. I got myself an Ubuntu machine. All right, let's open up Firefox. Okay, so the latest version of Ubuntu moved to GNOME from Unity. Yeah, I know a lot of people gave Ubuntu crap for a very long while because they were using the Unity launcher. So the thing we want to load is this. I don't know, I guess I don't have clipboard sharing turned on. That's fine. But it's called MarkText Markdown Editor. There it is. Let's go to their website and download it. And then the app image, I think, is what we want. Save it. Save. It won't let me click. The thing just freeze. Save. I think it's frozen. You have clicked the mouse inside virtual machine display or press the host key. Host key is currently left command. Okay. I tried to download this and it literally froze the machine. There's network traffic being detected. Fingers crossed. Hey Shiv, are you saying good night or hello? I don't know, hello. Yeah, things have frozen. I mean, it could be that because I'm in a live environment, maybe it doesn't have enough space to download. No idea. Let's do this. Save the machine state. This actually, so that's the other cool thing about virtual machines. You can like take a snapshot. Maybe when I boot it back up, it won't be frozen. All right. So you can go into, I believe, if you click snapshots, current state. Oh, and then I would just start it. It should start up from that snapshot. We frozed it. What's the keyboard command in Linux to like drop into a shell? I don't even know if I'd be able to insert it. Insert. Control Alt Delete. Control break. Okay. Sad day. Well, good night, Shiv. I'll see you later. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, Sai, welcome to the stream. I think I'll try this one more time, but this was literally like a 30-minute detour, and then I couldn't even get it to work. All right, let's close this. Just power off the machine. Don't even save the machine state. And then I'm going to delete that snapshot. No. just power it up one more time. Try Ubuntu without installing. It's not auto resizing. Oh well. Okay, I don't know why it froze before, but hopefully it won't this time. If it does, maybe I'll just download the source code and do like a npm start. I don't know. I think that's it. Well, yeah, download just really redirects to releases. Okay. Let's try the app image. Save file. Okay, it didn't freeze. Weird. Hello, Jasmine. Welcome to the stream. So today I was just kind of browsing the web. What I'm doing right now is I am running. Oh God, did it freeze again? Yep, it froze. I think it might be that I'm running out of disk space. I don't know, but I found in the news this new Markdown editor called MarkText. I didn't want to give it full access to my machine, so I decided I would install VirtualBox, try to bring the app open inside of a Linux machine, but this does not seem to be working. Yeah, the thing just froze. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to power off that machine. We'll close VirtualBox. And I am just going to try and clone it down and do like a npm install, npm start, see what happens. Hey Bob, welcome to the stream. I'm in New York. Sai is asking, is JavaScript going to die after WebAssembly? The answer to that is no. If anyone else tells you different, they're wrong. WebAssembly is a very specific thing for like writing very performant code, and the syntax for it is not as inviting and beginner friendly as JavaScript, and we're not all going to just stop what we're doing and start writing WebAssembly. That said, there might be tools that take what we write now and convert it into WebAssembly so it's a lot faster, but in no way is JavaScript going to die just because of it. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go into the coding garden directory. We're going to clone down this Markdown editor. Manuel says, everyone knows I'm using Ubuntu with that screen. Too much orange. Okay. We're going to go into MarkText. I'm going to open this up in code real quick. One thing I do want to look at is their package JSON. A lot of times you can actually have like a post install script. Yeah, post install npm run lintfix. What is lintfix to? Lintfix runs ESLint using node modules, ESLint friendly formatter. What is this ESLint friendly form? I'm just being extremely suspicious, but like, what is this ESLint friendly formatter package? Who makes it? A simple formatter reporter. It does have 71,000 weekly downloads. If we look at it on GitHub. So, I mean, here's the interesting thing and like why I'm even doing this. Okay, because when I type npm install, lots of different things are going to happen. It's going to start installing packages. is going to then do the post install, which will run lint, which will run this package, which comes from here. And this itself, when it's installed, might do some other things. Cool. There is no like post install here. All right, am I going to trust it? Should I trust it? Why not? Oh, take my computer. Yeah, and Tycho is mentioning Rust to WASM. So there is a Rust compiler for WASM. So, I mean, in that sense, JavaScript could go away because everyone could start writing Rust that compiles to WebAssembly instead, but I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. Downloading Electron, Chrome driver. A lot of stuff is happening. Oh, I forgot to link to Crunchbase. I'll link to it too. This looks pretty cool. It looks like a nice minimal Linux. I like it. Crunchbang plus. Okay, so the npm install worked. I should be able to npm start. Oh, I didn't even look what script that was. Okay, there is no one. If I look in here, there's an npm run dev. Cool, because it's using Electron, which is pretty. No, sorry, using Vue Electron. Just trust it. You have backups, right? Funny that you might ask. I don't. I have. With some free evening pretty soon, my plan was to actually back up this computer and then reinstall OS X. I have a backup from probably 4 months ago, but I also have the mentality that my computer could die right now and I don't really need any of it. Oh, Jeremy is saying you have to make the app image executable. Okay. Well, when I tried to it just literally froze the VirtualBox when I tried to download and install it. Sai is asking if I can recommend any good tutorials for WebAssembly. I personally haven't found any and haven't really worked with it much, so no. But I do plan to look into it in the future. Okay, let's give this thing a try. npm run dev. Here we go. Fingers crossed. I've used Electron Vue before. It's actually pretty sweet. You can use Vue with all of the hot reloading and live reloading inside of an Electron app. Here's one thing we do, watch the network monitor. Whoa. Oh, okay. I was about to say, what are these? These are actually my emoji keyboard devices because it had a special firmware on it. But one thing I can do is while this was compiling, watch the network traffic to see if anything is happening. Oh, look at that! You all know my public IP address now. I'm not at home. I'm at a workspace. So please don't DDoS me. Okay, so all of that just to run this app here. Can we do NH1? We can. Done. That's it. Thanks for watching. I'm done streaming. Let's see. Let's do the dark theme. Ooh, okay. If I press Command S, what happens? I want to save this in Documents. Hello world. Okay. Didn't I see a little sidebar in the? I guess maybe not. But can I type emoji? Smile. Oh, it took a while to pop up. Interesting. You have to finish what you're typing, then press the colon, and then the menu pops up. Jacob is asking, what is the final verdict on MarkText? It's a markdown editor. I literally just opened it up. I got some hello world. I got some emojis. Yeah, let's try to insert an image. Is there like a, there's not a shortcut, but the, oh, you can upload an image? Oh, dang. That's cool. That's definitely an image inside of the editor. What else can we do? Source code mode. Let's do this. Let's grab some actual code from, well, I guess I could do it. I have code here. Source directory, main, index.js. Let's copy this. And in the editor, oh, whoa, oh no. It's a little wonky because like I'm doing new lines below the image and it didn't exactly move there, but source code with, ooh, it had a nice little menu of my options. JSP, JavaScript, please. Cool. It's got syntax highlighting. One thing I just did there was I tried to press Command plus to increase the font size, and I'm just getting a heading. I wonder if there's a way to, ooh, typewriter mode. Let's see. Source code mode? Whoa, that's interesting. Okay. Let's turn typewriter mode off. What is focus mode? Oh, I guess so wherever you're typing gets focused. How do I zoom in the text? Here's what we do. We toggle the developer tools, and then we find what is the parent element, because this is Electron, and then we make the font size have like 2M. Let's do like 4M. Cool. So that's how you increase the font size, is by opening the dev tools. Let's see where this margin padding stuff is coming from. It's on this div. Let's decrease that. Well, yeah, because this one has some margin on it. I want to remove that. Padding, get rid of that. Margin, padding top. Yeah, there we go. And then we can get rid of the max width too. So let's make the max width like 90%. Cool. That's my kind of markdown editor. Whoa, what's happening? Oh, and then I'd probably have to increase like the line height. I don't know. I shouldn't have messed around with that. Have a great Father's Day, Jeremy. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate that. Yeah. Is there a view font? Oh, look at that. It was just hard to find. Okay. I'm going to just close it real quick. Delete. To get rid of those styles that I added. But I think overall, it seems promising. It's pretty cool. One thing I like about Bear, which is a Mac-only I don't know if it's Mac-only, but it is a Markdown editor, is they have like this nice little sidebar of all your different notes. I feel like I saw that in the docs that you could do that with mark text. Let's see. I don't know. I don't think so. But overall, nothing to write home about. Not the best thing in the world. And really, I want to make my own with all the features that I've ever used and wanted, and put it all in one place. Why not? Cool. But check it out. It's pretty cool. The other one that I mentioned that I use is called a Abricatine. I don't know if this one is as known as Bear, but the thing that I like about it is the fact that it, and this is what, if I were to make a Markdown editor, this is what I would do. How the as you start typing in Markdown, it actually applies the style on top of that element. And like if you're doing list items, it still maintains the Markdown style. And that becomes like a checkbox, something that you can check. Yeah, you can uncheck it and check it. So it maintains markdown styling while like styling it on top of that. I would like to make something like this because this is also lacking like a sidebar where you can search your notes and stuff like that. But okay, I believe that's it for the stream today. Thanks everyone for tuning in. This was like an basically unscheduled stream. Had lots of people tune in. That was fun. I am in New York City now. I need to figure out what my new streaming schedule is going to be. I don't quite know yet. So watch the live channel in the Discord if you do want to know when I'm going to stream next. And eventually, not just yet, but eventually I am going to be putting upcoming streams here. You'll see them on my channel page, but not yet because I don't know what my schedule looks like. Just figuring things out. But thanks to everyone for tuning in. Yeah, thanks. And Rohit is mentioning it looks pretty awesome. The colors look great. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for contributing and messaging in the chat. And I will see you next time. Hopefully sometime tomorrow night, but I'll let you know. See you later. Thanks for tuning in. Here's this.